Hello. As students are prepared to head back to school, recent data indicates the number of students experiencing homelessness is rising in our area. We'll talk to the head of one group working to help those in need. And soon you'll be able to see 3 August Wilson plays as part of the Century Cycle experience from the Pittsburgh Playwrights Theater Company. The directors of all 3 plays are here. Plus, if you're sticking around town for the Labor Day holiday weekend, the 2025 Soul Food Festival will take care of the cooking. The organizer of this year's event shares what's on the menu. So pull up a chair and meet us at the corner. Intersection starts right now. Hello, I'm Lisa Smith, the Director of Community Impact at KDKA Plus and the host of Intersections. Numbers from the Pennsylvania Department of Education show a disturbing statewide trend. An increasing number of school-age students are experiencing homelessness. More than 50,000 students do not have adequate housing in the Commonwealth. And here in Allegheny County, the number is more than 3,600. One local agency that works to provide assistance to the students is the Homeless Children's Education Fund. AJ Jefferson is the president and CEO, and she is joining us. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Lisa, thank you for having us.
Yeah. So when we talk about children experiencing homelessness, sometimes, and I do this all the time because I feel like sometimes people don't really know what that looks like.
Yes.
What does that look like?
Well, especially in our Commonwealth, you don't see children actually living on the streets or under bridges. What it means is that a child doesn't have a fixed, adequate, or regular nighttime residence. Fixed meaning their caregiver is the primary on the lease or the mortgage. Regular meaning that they are sleeping at that house, at that dwelling the majority of the week. And adequate meaning it's adequate enough for human beings to live in that dwelling.
Yeah, so we're looking at some of those numbers that were recently reported right now. As I stated earlier, over 50,000 across the state, and then here in the county over 3,600. And then for Pittsburgh Public Schools, they're up 16% to over 1,000 students. So when you see those numbers, when you saw those numbers, what did it surprise you?
Unfortunately, it didn't surprise me. You know, we've seen an increase year over year. You know, actually, I think what did surprise me is the decrease in absenteeism rate that we've seen. But as a whole, unfortunately, homelessness as a whole is growing every single year.
And so do you know the reason behind why it's growing?
Yeah, especially in the lives of our students. Typically what families are struggling with is making ends meet, right? When you think about, again, the state of Pennsylvania, the minimum wage is $7.25. We all know that it costs more than that, much more than that, to live in adequate housing. So they're forced to double up to make ends meet and work together with other families.
So how does all of this impact what HCEF does?
Well, especially this year, Lisa, when you're talking about school year last year, but this year we've seen a significant increase in emergency support needed for our students. Let's think about what happened from January to now. In January, SNAP was rolled back or cut back by 22%. They shut down HUDs, the federal level of HUDs, emergency assistance, rental assistance, and housing vouchers program. That was actually a lifeline for our families. And number 2 is that the federal government took away over $9 million in supports that it's supposed to provide this state to help our families not just make ends meet, but support youth who are experiencing homelessness, because there is an academic slide that happens when you are unstably housed.
So when that happened, what do you do? Or what do agencies, what do kids do?
Well, at the end of the day, nonprofit organizations were created to fill a gap and fill a hole. And that's what we're all doing. Our families as a whole are experiencing these federal swings and changes in priorities. And that's impacting real life people. And those real life people trust nonprofits in their communities to help them navigate something that they've never had to navigate before. So I'm not turning any child away or any any family away that needs emergency support, I'm turning to our funders and saying, hey, there's been a 200% increase in need just from the 1,100 students that we work with. So can you help us? Can you support us? And they've been stepping up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, this also comes at a time when in the state that budget still has not been passed.
Yeah.
Does that impact what you do as well?
Absolutely. When you're thinking about children and children going to school, especially in the lives of our students that are living through barriers and situations that are they're just unfair that they have to live through. So when a budget isn't passed, that means that certain provisions, certain supports aren't being funded right now. So transportation, which is one of the largest barriers for our children, because through the McKinney-Vento Act as it stands right now, if a child leaves their school district and have to live somewhere else, that school district is required to transport that child into their home school district to allow them to continue to learn in that environment. Well, if the state budget doesn't pass, that means transportation funding is not passing. That means after-school programs aren't being launched or implemented through that school because they don't know what resources they have. That means mental health supports are not being offered to our students and all students because the state budget hasn't been approved.
Yeah, so it sounds like there's like this ripple effect.
It is. Mm-hmm.
And you mentioned the McKinney-Vento.
Yes,
is that right?
McKinney-Vento Act.
And I'm not sure if a lot of people know what that is. It's a long-standing law, basically, around how children who are in a homeless environment are to still be educated.
Absolutely.
So how does that still happen when you have basically this perfect storm going on from the federal, from the state, and in all of the other areas?
So, you know, the McKinney-Vento Act is a safeguard for students and families experiencing homelessness. It says that you as a school district are required to enroll a child in your school district, even if that child doesn't have the right documentation. It means that you're supposed to provide that child supports that can look like a social worker or a homeless liaison. It says that you're supposed to provide that child resources in order to ensure their academic success. The federal government is now proposing to bring that funding or that act together with other programs in what they're calling a block grant. Well, if you're bringing the McKinney-Vento programming and 17 other programs together into one funding pool, and you're decreasing the funding by 70%. So all 18 of those programs, the total funding is $6.5 billion traditionally. The proposal is to shrink it to $2 billion for all 18 programs under the U.S. Department of Education. And then if states are awarded that funding, they do not have to, there is no requirement that says they have to use it to support any of the programs that it's meant to support or any of the supports. So people can get this block grant, states can get the funding under the McKinney-Vento program, and they don't have to use it for McKinney-Vento students or students experiencing homelessness. Yeah.
Well, we're out of time, but I know you guys have a call for action. So where can people go on your website to just learn more about what you're doing?
They can go to homelessfund.org on our website to learn more about the McKinney-Vento Act, the students we support, as well as how to help us.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. We'll see you later.
Thanks.
Well, coming up, 3 plays by Pittsburgh playwright August Wilson hits 3 Pittsburgh stages soon, and in some cases on the same day. Intersections, we'll be right back. Two trains running, Fences, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, 3 of the 10 August Wilson plays that make up his century cycle, and you can see them all starting now. The plays are being produced by the Pittsburgh Playwrights Theater Company, and joining us to share more about the productions are Mark Clayton Southers, and he is the founder and producing artistic director of the Pittsburgh Playwrights Theater Company. He's also directing Two Trains Running. Also with us is Terrence Spivey. He is the director of Fences, and Ashley Southers. and she is the director of Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. Thank you all so much for being with us.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. Okay, so Mark, like when you had this idea to do these 3 August Wilson plays basically at the same time, like what was your thought behind that?
Well, I mean, several things. One, we have the pool of actors in the city to pull it off. 2, we have really great support from the foundations and our patron base. And I think the success of our August Wilson shows that we do, our annual show, I think the success of doing it, especially at the August Wilson House, has drew folks in from out of town, from overseas. They always sell out. So I knew that there was a hunger for it.
Yeah.
And I think it's about time. I think August deserves to have something on this level, especially in his hometown, in his home city. So, you know, all those factors played into it. And I pretty much knew that, you know, if we want to make it happen, it can happen. Yeah.
I mean, he was one of your mentors.
Yes.
So what is your approach to this kind of production, being someone who kind of has worked with him and was able to kind of see a little bit of his process?
Well, you know, August's process, he was real communal as a playwright, taking his plays from page to stage, all across the country, all the way to Broadway. And I know my good friend Anthony Chisholm, you know, talked about different things that August incorporated into the play. So it's always been a communal thing. So I think that August will really appreciate how we're doing this. It's more of a grassroots level. Like, you know, a lot of people are just hearing about it, but we've been marketing it. We approached it from a grassroots level. Yeah. Once we produce 2 Trains Running, when we open, we'll be the first company to have produced this cycle twice, you know, ever. So that being said, I wanted to make sure that we had folks involved with the project that really have a passion for August's work. Yeah. I know Terrence does, he's a good friend. And my daughter Ashley has seen all the plays. As a producer, when you're there, you're around, and she's like a producer, you're there every night. My family, we see each play 20-something times. Yeah. And over 20 years, that racks up. So we've seen them, we know that we basically are off book. Yeah. We know the dialogue, we know what's going on, so really familiarized with it. So I think that August would like the fact that it's being done in his hometown, and we're really appreciative that his wife, Costanza Romero, gave us permission to do it. Yeah. Which we got permission like in February, and we've been off to the races ever since. Yeah. You know, to pull it together. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so Terrence, tell us about Fences. Obviously, that's one of the Pulitzer Prize-winning plays. What is your approach?
My approach, I mean, it's his work, his words. Like I told the actors that it's up to you all. It's up to me. It's his language. And the thing about August Wilson, he's one of the only few playwrights I know where you have to, it's history. And it calls you to go further into your research and what's particularly Pittsburgh, even though it's the landscape in like 9 of his plays, and not Ma Rainey, it's universal everywhere. I drive around Pittsburgh since I've been here. I read the script. I saw Crawford Grill yesterday. I passed by it. I said, I've heard so many references of that place to go to back in the day. But the language is there. It's the language. And it takes me there. I'm from the South, so that porch talk and all that. And not only that, too, he brings me back to, I'm an advocate of black theater in the 70s. And he brings me back to that ritual theater that he really honored as well, you know, of black theater playwrights back in the day. Yeah. And that's what I love about it.
Yeah. All right, Ashley, what are your thoughts as you approach Ma Rainey's Black Bottom? Because that is not set in Pittsburgh. It's set in Chicago, and it's this whole music era. So talk to us about that.
I just really like the play because, well, first it takes place in just one day. There's no costume changes. But I also love the elements of the music and the singing and being in Chicago and it being cold out. So just seeing how my band members who I chose to cast became actual band. Like, it's amazing how from where we started and to where we are now. So it's a beautiful cast, and I'm excited for you to see it.
Yeah, yeah. The Madison Arts Center is going to be where two of the plays are going to be. Ma Rainey as well as Two Trains Running. And then August Wilson House is for Fences, correct?
Yes.
So I know that we're almost out of time, but how can people, are they sold out? Are you guys already sold out?
We've sold out 9 shows, but we have plenty of shows. www.pghplaywrights.org. Yeah, there's lots of seats left for the later shows. The first weekend of Two Trains is sold out. Ma Rainey is in our new cabaret space that I think people are really going to love. It's a smaller venue. It's 60 seats.
Wow.
That's because the way the set is. The set is, you're inside of the actual recording studio, so it's going to be a great experience, and it's going to be fun for a lot of folks.
Absolutely. Well, everybody just got to look at all the dates, and they can, as you said, go to the website to learn more. Thank you all so much for being with us. We appreciate
Thanks for
it.
having us.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. And coming up, food, music, and fun are on the menu this year for the 2025 Soulful Taste of the Burgh. Intersections, we'll be right back. Well, Labor Day weekend is the last big holiday weekend of the summer. And again this year, there will be lots of food, music, and fun at the 2025 Soul Food Festival, the Soulful Taste of the Burgh. Here to share all the details is organizer from Stop The Violence Pittsburgh, William Marshall. Thank you so much for joining us.
Well, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So this is what, the 6th year?
6 years.
Yes, 6 years. When you started this, what was the idea?
So the idea was actually to honor and highlight past food operators here in the city of Pittsburgh, and to try to help our local businesses have an economic impact within our community.
Yeah, and so there's like this history behind it, and then I know you're into kind of looking into the history. So tell us a little bit about what you learned about the history of African American restaurateurs here in Pittsburgh, and having food be like their business source.
Yeah, so that was one of the main things that inspired me to actually produce the Soul Food Festival, is when I learned about a gentleman called Benjamin Richards. Benjamin Richards in the 1700s was a prominent African-American male here in the city of Pittsburgh. He was one of the richest men in Allegheny County. Himself and 3 other black men signed the petition to make Allegheny County a county. This is in 1788, the height of slavery. And he became wealthy because he had a slaughterhouse. He used to raise cattle, and he would sell cattle to the Continental Army. And so instead of giving him money, they would give him property. So all of downtown, the majority of downtown, he owned that property. He owned Stanwyck Street, he owned 3rd Avenue, he owned 4th Avenue. When you see PBG Plaza, that's the property that he owned. Then he had a son. His son was named Charles Richards. In 1795, he opened up the first black tavern here in the city of Pittsburgh. It was called the Negro, and that was on Stanwyck. Then as we move up to the 1800s, there was another gentleman called Reverend John C. Peck. He opened up the original Oyster House in 1838. He put an ad in the newspaper, coming down here and try some of these oysters. I had oysters and ice cream parlor. So when we found out about this rich history that we had, we figured we got to try to bring that back, educate our community, and try to build it up.
Yeah. So tell us about what's going to be new, from old to new, right? So what's going to be new this year at the festival?
Well, what's new this year is our location. Our location is actually going to be on Stanwyck and Liberty Avenue. Stanwyck Street is the site where Charles Richards had the first Negro tavern here. And so that's going to be some of the new stuff here. But we have, it's a regular routine. So we have live entertainment, we have contests, we have some speakers, we have a walking tour, different things that we're going to do.
Yeah. Now, I know one of the contests you always talk about is the barbecue contest. So tell us a little bit about, how many people are going to enter that yet, or?
So we're waiting on our enterees to sign up right now, but normally it's about 5 small businesses sign up for the barbecue. It's a lot of fun. Yeah. They get to take home a trophy. They get recognized as the best barbecue company in the city of Pittsburgh and Allegheny County. So they take it very seriously.
Yeah, and then there's vendors also.
We're going to have over 100 vendors, so there'll be food vendors and item vendors and cultural vendors. So it's something for everybody. And one of the things that we do at our Soul Food Festival, although our primary focus is soul food, we also have other ethnic foods there. We have vegan foods, we have Chinese and Asian food, we have Greek food vendors. So it's something for everybody.
Yeah, so when you have food, you gotta have some music.
Gotta have some music.
Yeah, so tell us about the entertainment, because you have local, regional artists and national entertainment.
Yeah, so we always try to highlight our local talent within the city of Pittsburgh. So each night we'll have 2 local artists performing. This year we're bringing in some heavy hitters. We have Howard Hewitt on the first night, and then we have a rapper called Young Jock. On the second night we have Days Loaf, and then we have another gentleman who's an R&B icon. His name is Horace Brown. And then on closing out the Soul Food Festival, we're going to have Christopher Williams and Styles P of the Locks, and they've both been in the music industry for like maybe 30 years.
Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, this is obviously like an annual, at this point, an annual
Yes.
event. Give us the dates, and if there's like certain times when people should show up to, you know, get in line to start, you know, getting
So
the
the
barbecue.
festival actually runs from Friday the 29th to the 31st, but the starting time is about 11 a.m. in the morning, and we run through the whole day. You want to come down and shop with our vendors, help us create an economic impact. One of the things that we were able to accomplish with this festival, we're so proud of that. In 2023, they Visit Pittsburgh did an economic impact survey, and we generated over $3 million with this festival for the city of Pittsburgh. So it's important that you come down and shop with our vendors, help circulate these dollars back in our community, try to uplift our community, and it's all free.
Yeah.
Other than the vendors, it's all free.
All right. Well, it sounds like a good time as usual. And thanks for coming, and we'll see you Labor Day weekend.
And we appreciate the opportunity to talk about it. Thank you.
All right. You're welcome. And I'll have my last word when we come back. Stages. Life is full of them, whether it's childhood, teen, young adult, or more. Each stage pushes us forward to the next, and each stage is filled with life lessons, sometimes hard lessons that prepare us for what's to come. Stages prevent us from being stagnant. They force us out of our comfort zone, force us to face realities, force us to grow. So whatever the stage, embrace it. It's introducing you to the next one around the corner. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time on Intersections.